Hey everybody, it's November. Yes. So it's time to hang out once again. I thought I'd kick off with a live instead of just posting videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and hang out with y'all tonight as November is here and we know what's going on this month. So before we get started, let's do this quick little few seconds and think about things that make you smile, make you feel good, things that make you laugh. Whatever that is, think about it. Think about whatever makes your cheeks hurt because you smile so much, whatever makes you laugh till you roll over, whatever makes you feel like you're on a cloud. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. All right. So I feel really good. All over the place at the moment. Just situate. Okay, so it is November 1st. And, by the way, this is Nimbus Intuition. It's November 1st. And so November, I thought I should, come in strong with November since this is NoFap November. And so for those of you who don't know, NoFap November is about a challenge that people take on to abstain from sex, abstain from masturbation through this month. There are a lot of benefits to doing so, and so this month is a designated month, maybe just because of the wordplay with NoFap November, but this is the month that is selected for that. And so there are many people all over taking that challenge up. Some people who do it every year, some people who, want to try it out and see how they do with it. This is the month in which they do that. And so NoFap is usually related to the guys and their semen retention. But, I think it's good to kind of couple that with celibacy because it's related. It's not exactly the same because there are some exceptions to the rule with NoFap. However, they go together. And so I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. I know that I have been talking about that for a couple of years now. And so, I've seen a bunch of videos of me talking about it. I think, it's good to do. There are so many benefits, and I keep stressing that it's not really about sex when it comes down to it. Although, that's the umbrella that it's under. It's about knowing yourself. It's about getting to know who you are before you enter this sexual connection, before you use this sacred energy with another person. Is about knowing yourself. So benefits I go over with why it is a good thing to do this in every relationship. Because once you go through these and you make sure that you are, you kind of look at the benefits and see where you are with them. It allows you to see where you are with knowing yourself. And the more closer you are being good with each of these benefits, the closer you are to knowing yourself. The better off you are knowing yourself, the more you are. The better you are when you go into connection with someone else. And so you got two whole people coming together in that way. And so it's the sex is like put on the back burner so we can get to know ourselves before we enter that connection. All right, so this is the month we do it in. All right, so I have a bunch of videos about it already, and so I don't want to be too repetitive, but I just kind of want to go over some stuff briefly, and not particularly in the order in which I usually do, because y'all know I have the book Celibate 69. Y'all can check that out. That kind of just talks about exactly what I did. I just mentioned. And so y'all can check that out. But I didn't want to go into it that way. All right. I kind of want to go into like a different mode about it because I like, I like some variety. I don't want y'all to look at the videos and they look too similar. I just, you can go ahead and look at one of the old videos about it. However, celibacy and NoFap. Now, as I learn more about the NoFap journey, because it's more of a semen retention journey, there are exceptions to the rule with the NoFap. And so while I'll still couple them together, I'm more focused on the celibacy part. NoFap is, the exceptions they make is that, as long as you do not, release that fluid, then you're good. But why put yourself in situations where, and you kind of just stay, just abstain, and then you don't have to worry about, missteps and having to backtrack and stuff like that. And so I say abstain, don't do it at all, and that's the best way to actually do this and be successful at it. More success when you just go ahead and abstain. All right, so this is not something that any of us is new to any of us. We all have gone on a celibacy journey from our young ages. Before we were even thinking about the opposite sex, we were not thinking about, sex, and we were getting a lot done during those times. Before we were, our hormones started raging and everything. That's some of our productive years as a youth. And so none of us are new to it. It's just that as we get older, we allow our focus to go in places where they don't have to stay, but this is where some of the focus is when it comes to dating, especially in today's world. All right. And so I'll just, like I said, I'll just talk about it in different ways. Okay, so instant gratification is one of the issues that we have when it comes to sex and relationships and this journey. And so everything around us allows instant gratification, and it's a result of this world that we've created. We've created things, and as we evolve as people, we create things to make life easier. So whatever we can create to make some function that takes an hour, take a half an hour, that's what we'll do. Whatever we can create to make something that, can, take a half a day to produce, and we can cut it down to, 3 hours, we'll create that. And so on and so forth. And so now we're at this point where we have all of these creations that we've come up with that cut down time for everything from the way we eat to the way we communicate to the way everything that you can name in our world, there's some kind of instant gratification. And so now we have instant gratification in the dating world that we see on dating apps. Now, how much instant gratification is that, right? If you think about talking to your grandparents about dating today, I wonder what they would say. Like, Grandma, today we can get on a machine, type some things with our fingers in just a few minutes, and look at pictures and read a couple of words, and we can have a date that same day. Now, I'm curious what Grandma would say to that, because back in our grandparents' time, of course, the courting went on, dating it was a process, and it definitely didn't happen in a few minutes, right? As far as setting it up, it took a lot more than that. So we take these things for granted because this is the world that we live in. So we can set up a date in a matter of minutes. It doesn't take any time. It doesn't take any time. We got the swipe left and swipe right thing going on where we are looking at people instead of getting to know people. It's about what you see in front of you more than it's about who the person is. And for the person who is on the other side of the screen, whose picture's getting swiped, they have to kind of be creative with trying to, in a short amount of time, tell someone who they are in a few sentences. And so this is the dating world today. And so when it comes to sex, this kind of influences that. Of course, because of the ease of getting together, we have people get into sexual scenarios with the same amount of ease. And, going back to what grandma was saying, I'm sure she would have some choice words for that as well. How some people choose to forego relationships altogether and just, have physical connection. And that's not what the intended purpose of the sexual act is about, at least in my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree with me. We have this sacral energy. That's that energy center where we create life with. We get together and we connect and exchange and share, our creation to make another. That's so powerful of an act. And to just go and, without, even knowing the person is something grandma, I'm sure wouldn't approve of. But this is what happens today. And to each his own. Everybody has their own ways of living life. However, this is the world we live in. But for folks who want a lasting relationship, for folks who want a real relationship, people who want real connection, that's not appealing. And so instant gratification is something that you get away from when you're on the NoFap and the Celibate journey. Because now you learn how to control yourself when it comes to, your sex, your intimacy, your physicalness that you share with others. And so you, a lot of times people on NoFap and celibacy don't even date. But, there are people who still date in that while they're on their journey. And so with sex out of the picture, it allows for, you slow down and take your time to actually know the person that's in front of you. And so you kind of get away from this instant gratification, which is not good as far as dating is concerned. And I think grandma would agree. All right. And so that's one of the benefits to this journey. Yeah. And so I haven't been on any dating apps lately. I think that, I think all of the creations we make have really good intentions. However, sometimes it's turned on their heads. And so I've heard of different scenarios where people got together on these apps and, they found real connection. And I've even met some people who met people and got married with these apps as well. So I wonder, what it is for you. I tried it a few years back, like a while ago, and I didn't like it. It's not for me. But maybe I'll try it again one day if I'm still single, whatever. But I didn't rather like it. And then a couple of years ago, I was going to do it again. But I got a conflict when it comes to when it comes to these dating apps, because I refuse to put, to share certain information, which makes it hard for the app to work, right? And so, that's my experience with the dating app situation. But I didn't enjoy that experience that well. Like, it was an experience, and I think all experiences are worth the lessons that they give us. But I really didn't like. Yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And so now meeting online is different, I think, than the dating apps, because meeting online, there. I was into the chat rooms when chat rooms were big and stuff. And so we used to go in the chat rooms. And now you do it in a different way these days, because chat rooms are basically people's chats on their YouTube videos. And their videos on, I guess, the other social media. I'm a YouTube head, so I know about YouTube. But those were conversational places where you go just to have. To me, that was fun, and I met people that way. And so and I still am connected to some people that I met that way. I actually had met someone online in that way. And so I don't frown upon the new way people meet online and stuff like that. But when it comes to the dating apps, it's just a whole different animal. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, that's the dating world and dating. And so on this journey, it's something that if you get on a journey and you stay on a journey and this is what you want to do, like you want to hold off on meeting that person or hold off on sex with someone until you get to know yourself, and then you know that the other person does too. It's just a whole different experience. And so I of course encourage everybody to do that. Even people who may be in a relationship. And I was thinking about that because I was talking about it earlier. You can do it like for a short challenge, like NoFap November. You can do it for a short period of time, just to take sex off the table sometimes, to see if there's more to your relationship than sex. Because now that people I don't know, a lot of people who are on this journey, but some people who get into relationships not thinking about these things, they don't know sometimes. Sometimes it's you don't know exactly what is the draw that has you together and what the glue that will hold you together. And so I don't think it's a bad idea to take sex off the table. Maybe a week, maybe it doesn't have to be a month, but take sex off the table just to see how you all get along, how you all communicate without sex. Like, it's kind of important, I think, because when you consider life, sex is not a large part of life. So if you're in a relationship with someone, you need to have more than that going on. You absolutely do. And so I don't think it's a bad idea to take sex off the table just for a short period of time that you agree on. Now, don't do it just to, without your partner's agreement. I don't think that's a good idea. But, agree to do that and just see, how that is for you. And maybe you discover things that you don't, but maybe you discover that it is a strong foundation that you have and that y'all look good with or without that on the table. But the thing about that is, if you have a strong foundation, you're good to go, because sex is supposed to be an enhancer anyway. It's supposed to be a thing that helps you stay together, bonds you. Well, I don't say help you stay together, but bond you and create that intimacy. And so, yeah, why not, right? And so, by the way, I'm single right now, so I do need to kind of disclose that information. But I'm no stranger to relationships. I was on the brink of marriage a few times, and so I was, you know, that's a whole other story. However, I'm talking from experience, and so yeah. All right, y'all. So this might be a long one because I want to talk about a few things as far as these benefits that I talk about on concern in this month. NoFap November. Okay, and so instant gratification is one of them. Yeah. Let me see. Another one. Well, I should have said delayed gratification, my bad. But y'all got the idea. Kind of really talk about it. All right. Um, and I won't go into order, like I said. All right. All right. And so when you are in relationships, just like I was mentioning before, you get into these relationships, and because these days things are different. A lot of people get into sexual relationships without going through this self work, this time to get to know yourself. And so, like I said, when you get into these, sometimes you don't know what the relationship is really about. Sometimes, like I said, once you take that off the table, you'll find if you really have a connection there. But what another benefit that comes from this journey is that it helps you make better decisions, right? Because when you are on a journey, and I'm gonna leave y'all in relationships alone while I talk about this. I'll put y'all in there again, but as a single person who's going on this journey, deciding not to enter a relationship until whenever they decide to, going on this journey, you make better decisions because you're going into this relationship without thinking about sex. So you're not influenced that way. Now, we know that that's a big influence. I want to say, especially on men, but sometimes on women as well, where you will have, I don't know, the person that you are engaging with in that way can influence you because you are engaging in that person. You're engaging in that way with that person. And so that person will say, I want this, I want that. And it's like, okay, because you don't want to mess up the bedroom life. You don't want to kind of get in the way of that. So it's okay for everything that they would say they want. Or, that goes both ways, And so if you're not engaging, you're not in a relationship, you making better decisions because you're not influenced in that way. And so there's no one to kind of pressurize you into a decision because that's not a part of what's going on. And so you make better decisions. It's not about, okay, feeling pressure or feeling like you have to. It's about, okay, let's think this through. Let's talk about it, whatever the decision-making process is. That's not based on sex. And so the benefit is making better decisions on your own. You're meeting people, you're getting to know people, and you're thinking logically. You're thinking, you're taking all of you to make a decision instead of thinking about, okay, I don't want to mess up later on. You know what I mean? And so it really helps you make better decisions. And the stronger you get on this journey, the better you get with this decision making process. So when you do finally enter a relationship, you may not even be influenced as you would have been had you not gone on this journey, because you've been used to, making decisions in a different way. You've been used to making decisions without that kind of pressure. And so it helps, and it's another benefit that you have on this journey. Yeah. And so not putting anybody on the spot, but you can think about your own situations and your own relationships. Have you been in a situation where you made a decision that you may not have made if it wasn't for, if it wasn't for sex, because that's what it really comes down to. You didn't want the person to kind of have a cold shoulder with you. You didn't want to mess up your evening or whatever. You didn't want to, So you know if you've gone through that and how that is. And so you can think about those times and know that that doesn't have to be the case, because once you have this journey under your belt, it's a different experience. It's a different experience, especially if the other person also is know themselves. And so it lessens that kind of thing. Okay, so definitely another benefit. Yeah. And I'm gonna share with y'all, what I can remember as far as going through these situations myself. I can't say that's one of them that I recall, but it's been a minute. Yeah, and so that should not be the case though, because that's like manipulating and stuff like that. So you don't want to make decisions because you feel pressurized and stuff like that. That's not a good way to make a decision. Yeah. And so, yeah, NoFap November. Not sure how many I'm going to go through. Probably up until an hour, I'll go through some of these and share with y'all some of the benefits. So another one is, let's see. And I've really been speaking to, they kind of go into each other really. All right, so let's say you ever been, well, when you are not on this kind of journey, it's sometimes where you may feel like you get like a fear of rejection. And I think this is more for, I lean a lot toward the guys in certain situations, but like I said, this is for both women and men. Now, it's a real thing for women as well, because it's I've been in a scenario as a youth where when I let someone know that I wasn't going to be having sex with them, that they went a different direction, and that was okay with me. And I learned that as really young, and it's an esteem issue as well. So I think it takes a really healthy esteem to be able to handle that. However, as we get older, that's something that continues if you are single, because you're in this dating scene and you're meeting people, and especially for guys are the ones who do the most approaching. You get a fear of rejection. And believe it or not, some men are rejected for the same reason. By telling a woman that they're not having sex, they, sometimes the woman will say, okay, well, and they'll do something different. But this is a benefit because this increases your confidence when you are taking sex off the table for, just your journey. You are not, sex is not even a part of it. So it's like, this is not even an option. It's one of those things like, I'm good if I do, I'm good if I do, I'm good if I don't, right? But you're good because you're not engaging. And so it doesn't really, it's like it doesn't feel like it matters what someone would say to you because you can be who you are and not worry about the rejection because all you're doing is, being yourself, and it's not about what you can get at the end of the night because that's not where your head is. And for women, it's the same kind of thing. Like I said, it's more of an esteem issue where um, you're good because you know what you want and you want to be on this journey. You're deciding to be on this journey, and so if a man is not understanding of your journey, that's fine with you because it's not about sex, it's about your journey. And so it increases your confidence. It allows you just to be you, be who you are. And with that, your confidence can increase because it's not a focus on sex. And so being on this journey definitely will increase your confidence, make you I don't say you won't be affected at all. However, it's just not. So it's like okay, that's how I feel anyway. It's like okay, you know, and then you can go ahead and continue to be you and not worry about it, right? And so that's another benefit, right? And so I don't know if it's something that some I don't know. I've met some guys, like I said, who gotten in that situation. And it's like, wow. And I was surprised to hear that because when I first heard it, I didn't think that happened to men like that. I would think that women wouldn't be judgmental in that way toward men, but yeah, men get it too. And so, but I've heard it a few times now. And so, it's both men and women who make decisions based off of sex sometimes. And so, that's what um, is likely to happen. However, when you're on this journey, it's like, okay, well, all right, nice to meet you. Or I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later. And, everything is fine. You know what you want to do. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. I've had this particular experience, a whole lot. Like I said, as a youth, because I think girls have to be strong, very young, to live in a way where we're not allowing ourselves to just do whatever. So we have to kind of be strong in that, and it's something that I don't know if it's something that can be taught, but it's something that you can practice with your girls as far as them turning people away, because you know, they're after something specific and the girl wants to just, be. And so I think it's something that you can practice with girls. I think for me, I observed and I observed and I observed. And so when it came time for when that started, and it started really young. I can't, I grew up in New York, and so I started getting advances from older guys at a pretty in my teens, and so it's like, okay, and it's something you gotta, like I say, you gotta have the girls be okay with, and let them know it's going to happen. Let them know that it's perfectly fine if that happens, because is that what you want? You know what I mean? Um, the saying, not the cow saying about the milk and the cow, but um, when things are too easy, they're not worth much. Like when things are easy, and that's for everything, right? When things are really easy, it's not really worth much usually. And so I don't know if that's something I've heard when I was younger, but I just observed a lot, and so that was an issue where no, and so yeah. And I think as when you grow up in a place like New York, you come across so many people and everything, and so it's like the more it happens, the less it affects you. And like I said, I just, it wasn't a thing to me. Like, okay, and so yeah. But as an adult, it's the same. It's the same way. I was having this conversation with a guy who, he kept saying how cool I was, and that he enjoyed talking with me, and we had known each other for a couple of months or so by this point. And I wasn't dating; I'm on my journey and everything. I didn't broadcast it, but and but I let him know, because you have to let people know that friends is all you're trying to be. I think some people don't believe you when you say that, but you have to like be determined in what you're saying to people. But and he was saying something about you know, wanting to he was trying to come on to me in that way. And I was like, wow, why he was kind of trying to connect, him wanting to go further with me because I was so cool or whatever with him or whatever. And so it was like a big conversation I was having with him about why does that have to be a part of us, being friends? Like he was trying to make it sound like it was like a necessity because we were getting along, we were having fun. It was and it's like, okay, it's okay to not have sex with people and be cool with them. And so, as an adult, it's interesting because it's like going backwards a little bit, you know. However, this is what we deal with, and men deal with it too, because men have the same kind of issue, especially today, where some women just don't want to understand the journey. It's like, this is what it is, and it's okay if you don't want to accept the journey that I'm on, but you need to know where I'm coming from so that and so there's no surprises. Because I think the worst thing is to not tell somebody, that you're on a journey and then spring it on them. I think that's not right. So I think you share your journey. And pretty early, like within the first meeting or two, because for some people, the focus is the opposite of this journey. And so the focus is all about sexual intimacy. And so you have to kind of let them know right away that this is what you're not trying to do. And so, all right. And so, which makes me think about the sex diet. Y'all go ahead and check out the sex diet. Really stuff like we all kind of know, just some reminders about how to get through this. And so go ahead, pick up the sex diet. Hopefully it helps you get through this month, right? All right. Point is about how to, just not have sex. If it's a struggle for you. Yeah. All right, and so what else? Okay, so that's a couple. We went over like 3 of them. So the delayed gratification. I kept saying instant gratification, but delayed gratification. Making better decisions and more confidence, right? So those are the three I went over. All right. Okay. Um, so I wanted to know from y'all, like, what the experience is for you. Those out there already who have experienced it, who have decided to go on a journey, even if it was just for a challenge, or who is living this lifestyle. What is it for you? Is it um, is it what level of difficulty is it? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Is it something that you like, why did I do this? Or is it something like you like, yes, I'm glad I did it? That's what I would love to know from you who have already done this in some kind of way. All right. Um, yeah. I think I'm gonna go through maybe one or two more. Like it's not gonna be longer than an hour tonight. And so this is one of the things that I'm dealing with right now. And it's something that we all deal with who are on this journey. On this journey, NoFap and celibacy, where we're not having sex. Like this is the not having sex part, like abstaining, and some of us not in a relationship at all. Another benefit is being more productive. Like, picture this, right? And this is not something, well, I'm trying to stay away from my own little examples. However, is it, I was talking about, this is one of the topics that I talk about often when it comes to this journey, because dating, the courting, if you're going into a relationship, it takes so much time. It's so much time taken in this process. And so, like now everybody texts and text messaging can last all day long. You got phone calls and you got Messenger on video, or I don't know if people still using Skype or whatever other Zoom or whatever people using for video chatting. You got the physical dates when you're going out to this place or that place, this restaurant, that event, that family function, this family function. And then there's also, if you are in a sexual relationship, the time of all of that takes place before and so this all takes lots of time. Now, and it's something, like I said, I talk about a lot because since I've been on this journey and I haven't been in relationships of a physical kind, I found that I feel like I get so much done, a lot more done, I should say, because and it's like this is a benefit though, because especially the younger people. So if you're in your early 20s, this is what you should be doing, in my opinion. This is the place in your early 20s is where you're supposed to be figuring out what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to do for your life and your finances and all those things that we try to get together. That's root chakra time. That's the time when we're supposed to be getting it together. So relationship should not be on your mind. I know it's kind of tough and difficult, however, this is what this journey can do. And I would say, especially for that age group, because you're supposed to be figuring stuff out. And so, as I'm much, much older than that. However, older adults, as we go, we kind of get the same benefits because you have time to do things that you want to do, whether that be whatever business you got going on, whatever work that you do, your career work, your volunteer work, your home projects, your hobbies, your whatever it is that you do, you have a lot of time to do that. Where when you're in a relationship and it's just facts, it doesn't, you don't have the time it takes to do those things like solo. Now, I think a good relationship, you're doing stuff together, and that's the best case scenario, I think, my own opinion. However, when you are on this journey and sex is not even something you're thinking about, a relationship is usually not the case. There's time to get these things done. Whatever it is that you have in your mind to accomplish, those visions from your vision board, those goals, however you want to, phrase it, whatever you're going toward is what you can be focused on instead of all of the time that it takes to date and court and go out and romance and all of the things that go into relationship. Relationship is work. So all of that, can come later when you have done these things to get yourself together, to know yourself, and then you're ready to get into that relationship and then join with somebody who can, do those things together. But while you're on this journey, you get to be more productive. You can get it done and you have the focus to get it done, and that is a benefit. It absolutely is. Recently, I've been going through this challenge because, folks try to, and I'm not against dating or anything like that because I'm open to it. However, I find that it feels like a distraction when people try to kind of, text and call and stuff like that. And I try to take some time to do that, but it just feels like such a distraction. And that's where I am right now. And I won't always be there when I'm ready to, do more. That's what it'll be. But I know the feeling of, feeling like that will take away time for what it is that I want to do. And so being on this journey, you definitely have that time. And you can be more productive. Absolutely. So share any instances that you have about that. It's interesting to think about the dating scenarios and how that can be. Um, because dating, you are learning people. Dating sometimes, as you're dating, if you're in a dating process, you're not in a relationship, but the dating process, like how much time is that? Some people date, multiple people in a week, and that's a lot of going out and preparing. And women, especially, we take more time for those things as well. And so for women, it's especially more time in the dating process is taken. But share, what experiences you have with that. Like, how do you feel about how productive you are um, as if you're on this journey versus when you're dating? All right, like share that. Okay. And yeah, so you are definitely more productive when you're on this journey. That's one of the benefits. Yes. Um, okay, let me see. And I think one I have to say today because this is the biggest one that I think I'm trying to see if it's on this list that I was going to discuss from today. is lower down on the list? However, maybe no. I'll have one. I have time for one more. Okay, so I have time for one more. So this journey here, which is not well, I won't say it's different for different people. Some people will find it, difficult, and I think like with everything else, it gets better with time. And so you might find it difficult at first, but if you stay on the journey, it becomes less difficult. It becomes rather easy because it becomes a part of your lifestyle, and so it's not something you don't have to think about once you have done it for a while. And so, um, but another benefit, and I think it's one of the main ones, is self-discipline, right? No. No is an important word for people to use in life. And I think it's a very spiritual, it goes into spirituality in a great way because we have to be able to say no. Now, but we have to start, I think, with ourselves. Now, when we get that to say no, then we are better off as people in all kind of ways. I mean, what fasting is about is simply saying no to ourselves in different ways and different things that we usually do, different things we like to do, but fasting is a process and a practice of saying no for a period of time. And saying no is self-discipline. And so this is an absolutely beautiful benefit that you get on this journey because you get to practice your no. All right, and practicing your no is so important, and it should start at a young age. It shouldn't just start when you are, thinking about sex, no sex relationships. It'd be something that you are learning at a young age because without this ability to say no, life can become chaotic. It's about no is also about boundaries. And so if you're not able to say no, you may have a lack of setting boundaries. So no is an important thing to be able to use in your life, especially with yourself. Because when nobody else is looking, or you don't think anybody else is around, because we're never alone, saying no is important. I think it's very spiritual because this is why we fast, is to show, honor that we are grateful because we decide to voluntarily take these things away from us that we have been given, these things that we become grateful for and take for granted sometimes. When we take it away from us and say no to those things, we get another sense of gratitude. And so it's a very spiritual thing. And on this journey, you get to practice that because you're saying no, not only to sex, not only to the pleasures that you get from maybe masturbation even. You're saying no to yourself and something that you want to do because, who doesn't want, if you are sexual, we are sexual beings. And so we naturally want to have sex. That's something that is within us. We have to procreate. That's one of the things that we're here to do. Our body has things in us that set those triggers to want us to have sex. And if we get control over that, we're able to say no when that happens. So just because our bodies want to have sex, we get to have control over that and say no. And so this is one of the greatest benefits of this journey because practicing no is so important for just every area of your life, not only sex. All right, when it comes down to relationships, It helps you with boundaries because you have to be able to set them for yourself, or you'll do anything and won't have any boundaries, and your life, like I said, can become chaotic. So this is a great benefit right here. And I can go on with this particular benefit because it is so expansive, because it touches so many areas of our life. That's this self-discipline that we can get with practicing our no. And that's one of the greatest benefits that you have when you are on this journey. Being able to say no. All right. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. At least there's so many more, and we've got so much month ahead of us that I'm going to end it here. But I've gone over a few benefits that you can get if you decide this challenge and this journey, because I do think that it's a journey that we all should take. And just until we get to know ourselves is the way we can become better, for ourselves, so that we can be better for other people. And so I think it's something we should all do, especially y'all younger ones out there who thinking about it. It's definitely beneficial. Definitely beneficial. Okay. All right. And so many other benefits. And so I'll get to that as I see y'all again this month. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope everybody out there is well. I did want to say, condolences. I did have heard about this death that happened today, and I did want to send condolences out. It's really sad when we lose people, and so I want to send out my condolences. If you're experiencing grief, also, I'm going to make sure my grief videos are up, because I do have a few grief videos that help you deal with grief. And, this is concerning today's event and any other event in your life that you may be grieving about. And so you can go ahead and visit that, and hopefully that can help you through. All right. All right, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'll see you again this month for November. All right. This is a month you can take on this challenge. This challenge is NoFap November. I'm through in celibacy with it. NoFap Celibacy November, where you can decide for this month, to start, this journey of not having sex, not masturbating, taking sex off the table for this month. All right? All right, y'all. And I'll keep on letting y'all know all the benefits that you get for that. All right. So I'll see y'all again. Again, I hope everybody out there is well. And once again, this is Nimbus Intuition. This has been Teatime. And as always, love and gratitude.